All right, we are recording. Okay, everybody, I just want to take a moment to introduce someone who is very special to me. She is amazing. She is very successful in the brand. She is one of the top accounts in the nation, and she has agreed to do this for me. And I am so very thankful because I care a lot about you guys here in North Louisiana, and I want you guys to have the best of the best. I want you to have all of the resources that you can with Zio. So I've asked Dawn to kind of meet with me and share some insight, some information into her business and what she feels is valuable. What are some nuggets that you guys can take away? So I've compiled some questions and I'm going to ask them. Before I do, I just want Dawn to take a moment just to introduce herself and say who she is and what she's got going on with her business.
Okay, so hi, I'm Dawn. My husband and I own Spruce Micro over in Broussard, Louisiana. We offer microneedling, hydrofacial, dermaplaning, and Zeo, and that's it.
Amazing. All you need right there. Very
That's it.
simple. I love that. Okay, so let me get into these questions. So how long have you been in business?
Since 2012.
So not that long, and you have become uber successful in a very short amount of time. So when you started, were you opened as a Zio account or did Zio come later?
No, in 2012, I don't even think I knew Zeo existed. I really didn't know. I would have to say that I just heard about Zeo maybe kind of, oh gosh, maybe a couple of years ago, but it really wasn't all over, I don't think, at that time. It was more SkinCeuticals was kind of the big thing. So before Zeo, I did SkinCeuticals for about 5 to 7 years before that.
And not to speak negatively on any other brand, because I know SkinCeuticals was a huge part of your business, but knowing where you are now and then looking back on your business when you were a SkinCeuticals only account, do you feel at that moment that skincare was a vital part of your business? And did you feel that SkinCeuticals was meeting that need?
No.
Okay. And I'm asking that because I feel like that's a really good question. Because when I come into accounts for the first time before, and I'm sorry, these are accounts that have never learned Zio or anything. When we talk about skincare, I feel like they think of skincare as almost like an afterthought. Like, yeah, I offer like a aesthetics practice, so skincare is part of that. So we want to have that for our patients. But they don't necessarily look at skincare as a huge part of their treatment for their patients. So I guess that's going to go into my next question. So what was the kicker? What made you finally say, okay, I'm ready to kind of look into Zio?
Well, so whenever I had SkinCeuticals, and I had before SkinCeuticals, I was Glow Therapeutics, which was a long time ago. But before, when I had those brands, I've always been kind of a one brand kind of girl because it confuses the clients or patients whenever you have multiple brands out there. So um, I always thought it was necessary or good to use a medical line or like a good line with your practice. But I always told patients, like I'm okay with using a different brand as long as it's MD great, whatever. I wasn't a big like you have to use all one brand. I just whatever, as long as you're using good skincare and microneedle, and we got great results. Whenever I decided to switch from SkinCeuticals, it's when, and I'm not trying to talk bad about a brand, but because I really wasn't unhappy with SkinCeuticals, it's whenever they sold out to L'Oreal, things changed and products got really hard to get, like really hard. Things were back ordered all the time, and it was super frustrating because we couldn't get. It's kind of like if Zio would say we can't get Daily Power for 4 months. Like literally, I couldn't get triple lipid for 4 months. And
Yeah.
so that's, then you have your patients that are switching to other skin, whatever. So that's what led me to wanting to look for another brand. And at that time, Zio was becoming more and more popular in the med spas in my area. So I started looking into it. And it took me a year before I decided to bring it on.
Okay. And then I'm sure coming from a brand like SkinCeuticals and then moving to Zio, there was probably like a giant learning curve.
Mhm.
And I'm sure it was difficult for you when Zio came in and was like, well, we don't want you mixing with other brands and we want you to follow Zio. So what was your opinion of Zio when we came in and we're like, oh, you must do it this way and this is how we suggest to do this?
Well, I called bullshit. I mean, I'm just saying, I called bullshit. I can remember getting off the phone with my account executive, Robin, and just telling my husband, like, she is so full of it. Like, there's just no way. This brand is too expensive and it's too different. People are never going to understand it. And so I toyed with it for a year. Like, I went back and forth, back and forth. And I was scared to make the change because we have a lot of repeat business. So we stay full with needling. Like, we do a lot of needling and we stay completely full. And so we don't have randoms that are coming in all the time. Like, so it was people that I see every month, and to say like, oh, we no longer have this, throw away all your stuff and I want you to use all Zio. Like, that was a hard thing. And that was scary to me.
Yeah.
But long story short, SkinCeuticals got worse and worse and worse. And so I decided, I ordered a kit off of Zio's website myself, the brightening kit, and I did it the way that Robin told me to do it. And the change that I saw in my own skin within a month was what I had never seen in any other line before. And so that was the kicker for me. Like, I was like, okay, this is the real deal. I've got to have it. And so just like that, Zio kicked my SkinCeuticals little butts and they went all, so yeah, Zio did the buyback. I made it super easy. I offered a really good promotion for my, all of my existing patients to hop on, and literally, like, I went from, I would say maybe, I don't know, 10, I never really measured, to be honest, a very low percentage of our patients using skincare to like 99%.
Yep.
Like,
So
in a
then
month.
you would probably say at that point was when you started realizing how vital skincare and good skincare was to your business and to your Spruce Micro, to the Spruce Micro brand. Because everyone that's sitting here viewing this right now is aware of who you are and your before and after, because they are next level and it is impressive. And when they find out that not only is this skincare, but you have a very limited menu. And before you and I even knew who each other, was, I spoke to Robin about you and I was like, man, I've never seen results like that from such a limited menu. Normally in patients' treatment plans, they're doing the lasers, they're doing, the injectables, they're doing the needling, they're doing everything to get those types of results. And she was like, Sam, she has figured out business. When you are very good at something, you find out how to master that. It's not about bringing on 850 different treatments. It's about finding one thing that you're really good at, which you are, and you rock that out. And you couple that with something as transformative as Zio, done. So everybody's impressed with your results. I want to ask this though, because I know the education was very different than SkinCeuticals. And I know that for a fact, because when I was a medical esthetician, I retailed SkinCeuticals and I didn't really have much education outside of, they would have like a seminar here and there where you could go and you could learn. So now that you've experienced all of Zio, because you are also a Zio expert like many in this room, what is your overall opinion about Zio's education, and do you think it was helpful for your business?
Zio's education is no other brand can compare. I mean, I've not ever seen anything like it. And the tools that are available, I think it's crazy for people not to take advantage of it and not to take advantage of you, because I think that you're the most, I mean, I'm just being honest. Everybody that knows, I mean, you are valuable. You should be like next to Dr. Abaji, like 24/7. You're really, so you're a really good, so I mean, just, I make sure, and you know this, but I'm just saying it, you are the one that trains my staff, train my husband, train all of us, because yeah, they have a really good thing.
Y'all hear that? Everybody in North Louisiana, y'all got a good one. So use me up. Use me up.
Yeah.
Well, I say that because I personally thrive on education myself. I will never know it all. despite being able to teach this material, whenever I have some downtime and I hear that another trainer is going to be like hosting a webinar, I sign on. Same thing. I'll be doing webinars and I see you, signed on. It's like you never know enough. And even though I know the material, I'll be watching a webinar and I hear the way another trainer explains it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that just opened a completely new door for me to understand this material. So all of you experts that are watching this, I encourage you not to stop your learning journey now. You know, Zio has other trainings, more advanced trainings that you can dive into, but and Dawn knows this, there's more than just learning the product. There's also learning business. And I think that's something that Zio does really well. We give you lots of education, lots of product knowledge, but we are also almost like free aesthetics consulting. Like, what do you need? We'll help you. So I hope all of you that are watching take this and you soak it in, and you also make yourself, you know, get out there, get whatever resource is available to you, especially if it's at no cost.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all of that said, tell me, what do you think Zio has done for your business, for your life, and for your patients?
So like I tell you, we were always pretty busy and we had a lot of repeat business before Zio. But Zio, it just was a perfect pair for what we were already doing, and it made my results a lot faster. So where we used to get results with pigment like in 5 or 6 months, I mean, as soon as I start correctives within 2 weeks, they're getting crazy results. And so everybody wants things fast, you know, like, and so this is honestly the fastest you're going to get it. And then just keeping the skin healthy, it's done crazy things. I don't think anything can compare with Zio with when it comes to pigment. Like nothing, no treatment, no nothing can compare with what Zio does for pigment, whether you use HQ or not. And because I've done it both ways, and so when Robin told me whenever I first started, she's like, girl, I'm mocking Robin, girl, girl, you can, she's like, it can bring in so much revenue, blah, blah, and it'll bring up as much as needling. And I was like, there's no way that someone's going to, like, products are not going to bring in more revenue than needling, like never. And well, it's pretty darn close. It's pretty darn close. So
man, people have such a hard time understanding that. And it's like, nobody's going to understand that until they're going through it, till they experience it. And because Zio is positioned the way that it is, because we don't come in and say, yeah, go ahead, just sell them a retinol. Yeah, go ahead, just sell them a growth hack, just whatever you got to do to make a sale. No, we want you to do it correctly. That's why we encourage full protocol.
You're not going to get repeat business if you just do that. It's not going to work.
If you think about it, it's helping you more than one way. Number one, if they're on a full Zio protocol, you and I know they're going to see results. And number two, how much more money you're going to make if you're selling a full protocol rather than just one product. So when you change your mindset and you start really thinking like, okay, not only do I want to be successful in business, but I want to be successful with results. Then after that, then there's no reason why you're not doing Zio correctly. So I'm so glad that you kind of chimed in on that, because I'm sure some of you guys that are sitting in this room watching this right now have probably heard me on my soapbox and been like, oh my God, this girl, just like how she was thinking about Robin, this girl's crazy. This stuff is ridiculous. She wants me to sell all this stuff. She's not there. It's not about that. And if you knew me and you knew my person and you knew who I was on the inside, you would know it's not about, I want you to sell a bunch of Zio. I would rather you sell less Zio, and what you do sell, you do it correctly, rather than just throwing products out there. So Dawn, you just completely backed me up. So thank you.
Well, if you do it correctly, you're going to get repeat clients. And then you're also going to get people that they're going to be referring to other people. I literally, before we hopped on the Zoom, I got a message on Instagram and someone said, she's been in 2 weeks and just core, like, core, probably Bright Alive and enzymatic, if I had to guess, but no correctives yet. I just met her, and she took a trip and forgot her Zio, and she made her husband drive all over Nashville to get a whole nother everything that she had, because one day without washing, she can notice a difference in her
See?
skin. And so, and it's true. It's like crack. Once you get them on it, and they start seeing the results, they want more. And so, and it doesn't even matter what the income level is, because all of my patients aren't rich. Like, I have all levels. So it's there. If it's creating results, they're going to find a way.
That's it. You are right about that. That is one thing us in the South will make happen. I
Yeah.
was at the national sales meeting in Vegas, and they were talking about how the South has the highest numbers as far as like aesthetics in general. They were looking at injectables, they were looking at skincare, and Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, which actually Louisiana was doing better than Texas, believe it or not. So it's crazy. But that's what they were saying. Like, there's one thing about women in the South. Even if financially they are struggling, they are gonna figure out how to keep this intact. And that's the truth. So never go into a treatment plan with your patient thinking budget. The only time you should ever think budget is after you've already provided them with the treatment plan, and then they've said, okay, this is my budget. Then great, work with the budget, but never go into it going, ooh, I better keep this at a minimum because they're not going to be able to afford it. That's the wrong way to do it. So I'm glad you're doing ZO correctly. It shows in your work. You have next level results. I mean, congratulations on all of your success. You have definitely mastered microneedling and ZO for sure. And then the last question that I wanted to ask, which we will close with, which I think is a great way to close out. I know you've probably said a lot of golden nuggets here, but if you could give advice to a new account or existing practices that don't trust the ZO approach, what do you think that would be? What would be the most valuable thing you could say to them?
I think the most valuable thing, if you don't trust it, is to just try it. Like, do a trial on like 2 patients with just ZO and just see what happens. And just, I mean, just watch, just even like what happens with their skin, but also how the patient reacts, and just even how happy they are and how much more they're going to buy and tell their friends. And they don't even have to tell their friends, because people are going to notice their skin, like, and they're going to get compliments. I have a lot of referral business, and it's off of people's skin. Your skin. Everybody knows if you use ZO, like there's a ZO glow, like it's period. So,
well, that is great advice. And I think also too, with what Dawn is saying, I say this a lot of times. I'm like, listen, you can't call me a liar if you can't prove me wrong. If you can prove me wrong, fine, then I'm a liar. So if you think I'm just some annoying sales girl, then just prove me wrong. Do what Dawn's saying, at least do full protocols on just a couple patients and document. Because listen, a lot of these changes that happen, that take place, are not wow factors until they're put side by side. And most of the time, patients don't even see what the change is until you've put them side by side. So if you're taking the time and patients are spending the money on full protocols, you've got to give them that gift. You've got to give them the gift of the wow factor. They're spending way too much time, way too much money with you to not have that type of justification for their spending. So,
and I feel like also it needs to be their patients, not someone else's. Like, there's a lot of accounts that just share everyone else's work. And that's what account executives do, because that's what you guys are showing work of your accounting. But accounts themselves, I feel like, should share their own work, because patients aren't going to trust you if you don't have any work to show for it. So I always say, like, I think for sure, like, do it on your own people and see yourself, like, the power of what you can do yourself, and you'll be surprised.
Build your own portfolio. That's the best thing that you can do for your business, especially where we are now. I mean, look at you, look at your business. You're able to show patients, this is the type of work that we produce here at Spruce Micro. So it doesn't matter if, and I try to explain this, but I guess it doesn't make sense for me because I don't own a practice, but I'm sure you can attest to this. When you have those types of before and afters, like that level of treatment, whenever a patient comes in and you say, okay, here's your treatment plan, your ZO protocol is going to cost you $1,100, and this microneedling treatment is, I don't know, I'm just going to say $1,100. So to make it even. So your treatment, your complete treatment is $2,200. Yes, it's steep. Nobody has $2,200, not this day and age, just chilling in their pocket. But when they see those types of results, when they see, you know what, if I invest this money and I have someone like this that's guiding me, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to pull out my Amex. I'm going to make the charge. I'm going to do what I have to do because look at what happens. So that's why I'm saying take the pictures. When you have your own work, your own portfolio, that's what speaks volumes for your business.
I agree.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for everything. I know my accounts appreciate this very much. And again, congrats to you and all of your success.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
Bye. Thank
Thank-
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.